What's up, dudes? Max here, and we're now so close to E3 2014 that I could taste all these secrets, these reveals, and these mystery appearances of all these fighting games that could potentially show up, and I'm pretty excited about a few. One that you are probably not shocked about at all, and one that's been teased by a lot of the new developers about it making an appearance very soon, and we're gonna know more around E3 this year, and of course it's Killer Instinct Season 2. Let's talk about a little bit of what we know about Killer Instinct Season 2, and a big one is that some of the stuff that they've been talking about between the Microsoft live streams is that KI Season 2 is going to have revamped things in it, like they're going to be looking at the game as a whole, they're going to be making some changes, some adjustments, maybe some things that we wanted in Season 1 might be making an appearance in Season 2, and hopefully some other things like the UI, like, you know, the main menu and stuff like that might be getting a bigger overhaul. I do have a pretty good feeling that Killer Instinct Season 1 sold pretty damn well. Like in the variety of Xbox One titles that came out, I think KI Season 1 actually did really well, because Phil Spencer has said on a multitude of occasions that he believes in Killer Instinct, and then he thinks it's a good brand for the Xbox and they want to go forward with it. Phil, you're just doing a lot of good right now, but please do something good with Rare as well. Those guys are hurting for something that's not a Kinect game. Anyway, Killer Instinct Season 2 has a lot that we could potentially see that could be returning from older Killer Instinct games, and something that I really want to talk about is the characters that I would like to see, and the ones that I think are most likely going to make it into the game. Now, first and foremost, we need to realize that we did not get 3 characters from the original Killer Instinct. Most of the cast was comprised of course, Killer Instinct 1 characters because they're the most popular, but still, TJ Combo, Cinder, and Riptor are missing from the roster. There was mention that Ken Lobb is a big fan of Riptor and he has had a lot of influence on the game. Cinder is one of the most highly requested characters in all of Killer Instinct, and a lot of people were shocked he did not make it into Season 1. Thing is, I find that kind of funny because I like Cinder as well, and I try to identify why I like Cinder because he's just the Human Torch. He's just literally a big naked dude on fire, so I'm not too sure why I want him so much, but I just do. And of course, the last but not least is TJ Combo, and I think next to like Spinal and Fulgore, TJ's kind of a poster boy character for Killer Instinct. He's kind of like the normal dude in a way, even though he kind of has like these cybernetic augmentations and stuff like that, which is why he got knocked out of the boxing league. Holy crap, you just got some Killer Instinct backstory right there. I think TJ's a really important character to come back as well. However, I think the likelihood of each of these 3 showing up is pretty damn high, mostly because the Double Helix side and the Microsoft guys were really paying attention to the character polls that people were putting up and asking for characters to be in Season 1. And I think on the top of that stuff was like Cinder, Riptor, and TJ Combo. I think they're some of the most requested as far as any of the other characters that actually made it into Season 1. Between all of them, I'm personally the most excited for probably Riptor and TJ Combo. For some reason, I think Cinder will be very cool. I think he's going to be probably a crazy rushdown character of some kind. I'd love TJ Combo to potentially be a Dudley-style character, like a lot of different target combos, you know, and stuff like that. And Riptor, I would not mind being a heavy hitter. So far in the game, I feel the only real big, like, heavy-hitting character is personally Chief Thunder, and that's because a lot of his individual moves do a lot of damage. Even though a lot of characters do a lot of damage in general, I'd like to see Riptor just kind of be a big hulking kind of like raptor dinosaur. I'm not too sure, I think they can do some pretty good stuff with that character. And just to see what he would look like with good graphics and everything like that, I want that to happen. It's a perfect opportunity to take their Jurassic Park cash-in that was back in 1994 and do something awesome with it nowadays. Now, if we move forward, I think these 3 characters are personally locked. I'd be shocked if either of these 3 did not make it into Season 2. I'd be personally shocked. But I also do think that there's going to be a couple that we're going to see in Season 2 from Killer Instinct 2 as well. More notably, I want Tusk to be in this game. I'm not too sure how many people like Tusk, because he's essentially just frickin' Conan with a sword, but his fighting style was pretty damn cool in Killer Instinct 2, and I think he's just kind of a unique character. Of course, the story elements and all the stuff that go into Killer Instinct are just kind of like whacked out of their mind because of Killer Instinct 2's 2,000 years in the past problem, but at this point I think they're just saying F it to the story and just kind of going nuts with a lot of characters, so there definitely should be room on this roster for a giant Conan-like Arnold Schwarzenegger barbarian. I'd love to see it happen at least in Season 2. I hope Tusk makes it. And of course, the final two being the other two female protagonists of Killer Instinct, which is Kim Woo and Maiya, might be some of the least popular, mostly because they were so similar in design. Not just like gameplay, they did play a lot different. I'm talking the way they look, they all had that Janet Jackson look, and no one was nearly as popular as Orchid. So the thing is, I'd like to see both these girls make it back into Killer Instinct. I don't know if they're both going to make it into Season 2. I think maybe one of them. And I'm thinking that Maiya's playstyle is kind of unique and she can be maybe like a Vega-style character. Although Sadira already does handle that pretty well. I'm thinking that one of these characters is most likely going to make it. Maiya's most likely going to be it. Although I think Kim Woo probably will offer quite a bit to the overall gameplay variety, but it really depends on how they changed her, because she was just pretty much a nunchuck-style character, and I think there could be a lot more done with her overall fighting style and her look, and I'll just say it right now, I think both Maiya and Kim Woo need to be drastically redesigned. I'd actually like to see Maiya as like a black woman and Kim Woo as an actual Korean, instead of how they were depicted in Killer Instinct 2, which were kind of just generic women. I don't know, I'd kind of like there to see a lot of diversity amongst the cast with this game, and I think that they're good options for that, but I don't know if both of them are going to make it. So we got a lot of characters so far that could potentially make it into Season 2, as well as the bosses being Idol and Gargos, and I'm gonna call it right now, I don't think either of these characters are unique or interesting enough to really have any verification for them to be anywhere in Season 2. That's just my personal opinion. I think Idol is kind of a throwaway character, and even Ken Lobb kind of personally hates Idol. He said it like many times. And Gargos, I'm not too sure everybody else's opinion, but he's actually tied to the story now. He's related to Jago, who turns him into Shadow Jago, so there's a slight chance that Gargos could end up being a playable character, and I could see a flight-based gargoyle, maybe, and that might be cool, but as far as Idol, I'm gonna say there's a very likely possibility we're never gonna see him ever again and just ignore he exists. We already have hints that Aria is a character that we could potentially see in Season 2. I doubt it's gonna be this Dural-style character, like Virtua Fighter 2, kind of like no face, no body thing. I hope it's not that. I really do. I'd like it to be something much more interesting if it's like the head of Ultratech in the story. But there's a lot of possibilities here. But what I really want to see is the remainder of the Killer Instinct 1 roster, minus Idol, make it into the game, and I would love to see Tusk. That's the stuff that I personally want to see most, and we're not even considering that if Season 2 is also an additional 8 characters, that there's also going to be new characters as well. There will be new additions, just like Sadira was to Season 1 of KI. But it really depends on how many new additions Iron Galaxy and Microsoft want to put into the game. Because if we add all those characters we just talked about minus the boss characters, that's 6 of 8 right there, meaning we're gonna have to get 2 originals for Season 2, and they might want to make more original characters. I only hope that they at least go for putting a few of the Killer Instinct 2 characters and all the remaining Killer Instinct 1 characters into the roster, and then we can get really freaking crazy with the Season 3 if the game does well enough. But let me know your top 3 picks. What are the 3 characters you guys want to see in Killer Instinct Season 2 as far as characters that could potentially show up? And do you think that there's a good probability they're gonna make it into the game? We are limited to 8, and until Killer Instinct gets like a giant big release, like maybe an actual physical retail release, I'd love to see that. Then we might see a huge, bigger, more expansive character roster down the line. But until then, we'll know very soon more about the game, the mechanics, and especially what's going to be happening at E3 if they do choose to show something off. Thank you dudes very much for watching, and stay tuned, we're just around the corner, and I can't wait to get more information on Killer Instinct Season 2. My name is Maximilian, and I'll see you guys next time.